Yeah, they're violently arresting students now. Hell yeah, dude. Absolute piglets, dude. Oinking. The protester has been released after police violence did nothing to move the brave protesters surrounding the car. Oh, they arrested a fucking like a, what are they called? Protest guardian or whatever. If you see someone wearing that vest, that means they're one of the official sanctioned designated person that is a protest marshal. Their job is to literally make sure that, like, when people are saying unhinged anti-Semitic shit or whatever, to like tell them to leave and shut the fuck up, and that there's no room for that kind of thing. They are literally there to stop infiltrators, to stop agitators, to de-escalate against counter protesters, that sort of thing. So the fact that they actually arrested one of them is pretty nutty to begin with. It's wild to me that the demands coming from fascists in the United States of America is to basically do Israel shit on U.S. soil at the behest of Israel to fuck American citizens. What the hell is going on? In New York, they arrested legal observers too, which is crazy. History never looks favorably upon those who want to call in the National Guard or police to stop student protests. People never fucking learn. I don't think people care. I think people care more about just like an immediate reaction and immediately getting like exactly what they want. They just want the state to be violent to those who are offensive to their sensibilities. They're not thinking about like 10 years in the future and how this is going to look. Also, nobody ever gets punished for their fucking pro-war takes in this country. So why should they even feel bad? Why should they even think about the future? There is no social capital that you're expending when you are on the side of the American state, when you are demanding more state violence be done to those who are actually critical of the state. It just doesn't work that way. As a matter of fact, there is social capital to gain as a consequence of being on the side of the state. Nah, the average Republican is loving this shit and hope it escalates. They can lie and say they won't, but they all want to see blue-haired libs get smashed in the pavement. Exactly. My dad said the rhetoric was exactly the same during the Vietnam protests. Yeah, of course. History doesn't look favorably at this bullshit. And the reality is, like, let me ask you, how many people do you know historically as like historical figures that was openly championing the death and destruction at Kent State? Even when people talk about Kent State, you don't really know who was advocating for it. They don't really talk about it that much. It's not exactly seen as like a prescient part of the conversation. It's not seen as a salient part of the conversation. It's not like it's unimportant. And that is by design. It is because police violence is the norm, and demanding more police violence in this circumstance is not going to hurt your chances. It's probably going to make your chances better in media, as a matter of fact. Anti-Semitism on campuses in the United States is reminiscent of what happened in German universities. The kids are going to be all right, I think. And they're showing that right now. The kids are all right. Michael Penis was at Columbia, by the way. Like, why is the Speaker of the House going to Columbia University? Why is this fucking Louisiana demon going to Columbia University to deliver a speech about like how pro-Israel college students are having their feelings hurt on campus? Okay, because that's what this is. This isn't about like any kind of real violence or anything else. It's just about the feelings. This is what I said earlier today. On the campus protest news cycle, every single media outlet that centers its coverage on the feelings of students who defend Israel and not about the mass graves being uncovered in Gaza is doing so deliberately. The pro-Palestinian students want the attention to remain on Gaza. That's why you rarely ever hear from the fucking pro-Palestinian students. You only hear from dudes who are like, yeah, I was waving my fucking big ass Israel flag around directly inside of the fucking camp, and then they surrounded me and scared me. Meanwhile, the surrounding and scaring argument that they make is this, by the way. They're saying Jews are being cornered on campus. By who? Other Jewish students, of course, anti-Zionist Jewish students, of course, but, you know, Jews are being surrounded on campus. Here's the perfect summarization of all of the events that have unfolded. One, random group off campus singing Ya Qassam, make us proud, burn Tel Aviv into the ground, you know, Hamas, we love you, that kind of shit, right? Which is, of course, unhinged. Is unhinged. You can't fucking say, you can't say shit like that. I get it. It's bad optics. And that's precisely the reason why this is not a sanctioned protest that is literally on the fucking college campus. This has nothing to do with the Columbia University college campus at all. Stop saying based boo-hoo without even fucking knowing if that is an AstroTurf protest that like people paid. Bad optics to kill 30K people. Make no mistake. Many of you are new to this game. Many of you are new. I've been saying this since October 7. You will never be able to be even as fractionally callous as the average defender of Israel. You cannot be callous. If you care about the Palestinians, you have to be careful. Many of you mistake the momentum here for permission. Israel defenders can say whatever the fuck they want, and they will never get an ounce of scrutiny from the mainstream media. You even say something that can be remotely misconstrued, you will get pounced on. You will be used against the Palestinian movement. I've been saying this since October 7th. Do not mistake the immediate momentum and the movement growing, the pro-Palestinian movement growing for an opportunity to be as callous as the average defender of Israel. That's never going to go well for you. Your goal in protest is to bring awareness to the conditions of the Palestinians. Your goal in your protest is not to feel cool and feel good and blow off some fucking steam. So every step you take should be calculated. Every effort you make in that direction should be as morally clear as possible. Nice to see OSINT defender being consistent on his fascist takes. Yeah, and then the other thing they have is this. Al-Qassam's next targets. That's it. This is someone who thinks they're being based. That's it. She's a Zionist? Oh, that's not a student? I thought that was a... No, she's wearing a fucking keffiyeh hiding her face, bro. Come on. It's most likely either an agitator or a protester who is thinking that they're being based. They're doing like parachute memes and shit like that. No one wears a keffiyeh like that. I mean, I know, but who knows? Doesn't matter. Even if this was at the heart of the fucking protest and it wasn't a plant and it was someone who literally was there with that fucking cardboard cutout, hyper focusing on this and making it seem like this is representative of the broader movement is idiotic. And it is done exactly in the same fucking way that it has always been done. This is what they did with the Black Lives Matter protesters. Oh no, they're not protesting about police indiscriminately killing black people or disproportionately targeting black people. They're not protesting about police brutality. They're actually protesting to kill the police and to kill white people. That was not the case. That was never the case. So things like this are done all the time. It's up to you to parse through it. It's up to you to recognize that this does not reflect the broader movement. Look at who's at Columbia. Remember, this is apparently about anti-Semitism. Yeah, I saw it. Charlatan. I hate these motherfuckers, dude. I hate these motherfuckers more than I'll be honest with you. I hate these co-opters who are openly anti-Semitic, who are using this as a fucking opportunity to actually just do more anti-Semitic propaganda, using the plight of the Palestinians for their own fucking material gain. I hate them more than I hate the ultra-Zionists. That's a fucking Nazi. Fuck that guy. Insincere assholes.
Denied the horrific facts of September 11, 2001, the attacks on the United States that happened right here in New York City, and they've attempted to excuse or to ignore the barbaric attack of Hamas in Israel on October 7th, 2023, where Israeli women and children were savagely raped and murdered, and infants were cooked in ovens.
Oven Babies is back on the map. It's crazy, dude. It's crazy that you just like say whatever the fuck you want.
And we had a psychiatrist on last night to explain why most of the people are female that are leading this protest. And she said because females, and I think I can speak for the women at the table,
you cannot,
are generally nurturing people. And when their professors are giving them better grades for their social activism, they're trying to appeal to their teachers, and they've been told they're oppressed as women. And they identify with the Palestinians, and they're trying to hug them and nurture them.
Okay.
This is not what I said, Judge. This is what my guest said, who's a clinical psychologist.
Thanks for repeating it.
Okay.
It's so funny when you remember you're a woman at Fox News. Of course, only coming to that recognition when Jesse Waters is being like an unhinged misogynist. I'm a USC student. I gotta say these protests are kittens and puppies playing levels of peaceful. So To see arrests being made is such a classic display of jackbooted thuggery by the LAPD. Oh, yeah. That's right, baby. Everybody knows Mexicans are Turks, and Turks are Arab. One step removed. They're cousins. Cinemarxism, our anarchist in the chat, who was there at USC, by the way, this isn't USC, this is University of Texas, Austin, says, I've been going to protest regularly for over a decade. I've never seen such unhinged, unnecessary, ineffective police escalation of violence as I did today at USC. From 7 a.m., police were being aggressive and escalating shit with us. I love how the excuse for anti-Semitic movements now is that, oh, they're just students, they can't hurt you. Well, all Jewish Israeli people in their cohort end up exiled with no friends as they face the most hate they've probably seen in their lives. You are disgusting. That's so funny because she tried to say it's violent for students to be like, ew, you're defending Israel? That's gross. That's such a funny fucking take. She didn't have the decency and the wherewithal to just say, like, to lie and just say they're beating on Jewish students or something. She literally said, I have no friends because of my relentless, unconditional allegiance to the genocidal apartheid state of Israel. And that's really fucked up. It's pure conservative thinking. There's a best demonstration of how conservatives universally are perpetually trying to seek out victimhood. 15 Jewish students at Columbia University have launched a formal complaint after self-described Zionist professor Shai Davide called them Judenrat Kapost for their human rights activism. Davide's family is involved in weapons manufacturing. This confidence will cook them. This confidence, this sheer display of arrogance will absolutely backfire. You can't be so fucking annoying all the goddamn time, nonstop, for as long as you wish to be, without people basically turning around and being like, no, fuck you, dude. Shut up. Enough is enough. Here is the part of the pro-Palestinian student protest at University of Texas. The DPS straight up beat the shit out of students, arrested hundreds of them, which, by the way, is anti-free speech, just so you understand. Like, this is actually a violation of the First Amendment, and even ended up beating the shit out of a Fox reporter and arresting him violently. Tackling and arresting this guy right here. I don't know if this video shows it, but he did get arrested. Yep, there it is. Fucking bags of potatoes, dude. Listen, these guys don't have any of the smoke when it's a fucking teenager with an AR-15 doing a school shooting. Like, they had none of that smoke for Uvalde. But when it comes down to beating the shit out of reporters, when it comes down to beating the shit out of journalists, students, defenseless students, oh, they got all the smoke, baby. Cops when little kids are being murdered in their schools versus when college students are protesting a genocide. Also, here's an update from Travis County. Travis County Attorney Delia Garza says, as of now, her office has been presented with 46 criminal trespass arrests stemming from the protests of the UT yesterday. The court has declined all of those cases for lack of probable cause and released the individuals from jail. However, the goal in that situation was to disperse of the protests violently. The goal in that situation isn't to like actually arrest the students. It is to basically get them the fuck out of there and terrify the rest of the students who don't want to go to jail. It's called intimidation. State-sponsored violent intimidation. Maybe that's why they started fucking trampling on the students after that. They got really triggered and upset that they brought up the name Uvalde. They hate that. The arrests aren't completely unexpected, but the violence is uncalled for. No, the arrests are unexpected. They should not happen. You want to know why these arrests should not happen? Because if these exact same type of arrests happened in Russia, and it does from time to time, or China, and it does from time to time, American media goes nutty mode. American media gets up in arms, starts talking about how fucking undemocratic these countries are, starts talking about how, you know, we have to do a coup in these countries. We have to do everything we can. The entire Western world gets up in arms anytime something like this happens in a country that is not a part of the Western sphere of influence. I know it seems like hyperbole. Imagine if this was China is almost a cliche at this point, but a guy hung a banner on a bridge in Beijing and it was reported by every single Western news outlet. A Wikipedia article was written on it, and a second one was written on the protester. And at the end of the year, Time labeled him one of the most influential people in the world. But of course, it does not matter. Oh, here are the DPS guys, by the way. State troopers each appear to be carrying 100 plus of rounds of AR-15 ammunition at the UT Austin protest. Why do these fucking hot dogs, these little piglets, need all that ammunition? What are they going to do? You need the NATO 5.56 rounds for those children, for the 18-year-olds who are like, don't do a genocide, please. That's unacceptable, goddammit. All these dumbass Redditors talking about free Hong Kong and Lamau James are the same motherfuckers cheering about cops cracking the skulls of journalists and students, the same motherfuckers asking if protesting for divestment is hypocritical. Exactly. They don't have a leg to stand on. And for those who only care about the aesthetics of an argument and not necessarily the positions, not necessarily the human impact, they hate looking like they got owned in an argument more than anything else. So they're not even winning on that front.